Hi there. I've been waiting for you. I'm glad to see you made it through. My name's Ashley. Ashley Burns. I'm sort of the pilot light around here. You know, the head flame. It's my job to spark people's interest in fire safety. Say, would you like a cup of hot chocolate? Good. I think I'll warm it up for you. Oh, maybe that's a little too warm. Why don't we let it cool off for a while, and I'll show you around the place, okay? Come on. I built this whole big museum just to remind people that fire can be a great friend if it's controlled. We little flames aren't all bad, you know. But when you're careless with a fire, that's when you can get into trouble. Fire can be a terrible thing, but if a flame is controlled and cared for, it can also be a warm and cozy friend. Warm and helpful, or bad and destructive. It all depends on you. Just think of all the little flames you have around your house right now. Come on. A friendly, bright flame in your furnace keeps you warm on a cold winter's night. The flickering flame of a candle fills a room with a warm yellow light. In the kitchen, a flame will do all you can name if it's kept in the place it should be. In the oven, it bakes all your cookies and cakes. On the stove, it boils water for tea. But a fat little flame can get hungry, left alone in a fireplace at night. If you don't take care, he may blaze up and flare and swallow your house in one bite. You see what I mean? Fire can be a great friend, but we flames can also be very unpredictable. Hi, I'm here. Hey, I'm over here. Back here. Over here. Here I am. See? You can never tell where a flame will be next. Oh, it may look like fun, but if you happen to get a flame near something that'll burn, look out. Unpredictable, that's the word. Fire doesn't always do what you'd expect it to, and that's what this museum is all about. This matchbook looks pretty harmless, doesn't it? Well, that's what a very nice boy by the name of Brian thought when he spotted it on his way home from school one day. Now, everyone's been told not to play with matches, and so had Brian. But some people don't listen. They just have to learn the hard way. Brian ran into his front yard and saw his sister Mary playing with her doll. He showed her the matches, but she wasn't interested. Brian started striking one match after another. He thought he was being a real big shot. But he wasn't big enough to handle those matches when they flared up in his hand. He didn't mean to throw them on Mary's doll, but careless people always cause trouble, whether they mean to or not. Brian learned that when you play games with matches, you always lose. And so did this poor little doll. Oh, well. You know, some people think you need an open flame like me to start a fire. Well, that, my dear friends, is absolutely mistaken and false. It's also quite untrue. Follow me. All you need to get a fire started is a lot of heat. And as you can see, this one had plenty. It's a good thing my friend Ralph wasn't wearing it when it caught on fire. Ralph was usually very careful about such things as fire. But today, his mind was on other things.
Hey, Mom, I'm home.
He was in such a hurry to get to his Little League game that he just tossed his shirt aside without looking. Poor Ralph didn't notice that it landed right on the heater. When you're in a rush, it's easy to forget that a heater can burn almost anything that gets too close.
Ow, happy leg.
You can see why Ralph was in a hurry, but the heater didn't care. Heaters never care when people are careless.
I must have 100 half-burned shirts like this in the museum. Shirts and pants and sheets and dresses and towels and whole houses. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't get so excited, but you know, a heater or anything that can get hot can be just as dangerous as an open fire. Ah. This stick is really part of an exhibit that I collected after a terrible forest fire a few months ago. What you see here is just about all that was left of those beautiful woods. Oh, I remember that forest before the fire. Tall, beautiful trees and a babbling brook. And more animals than you could name. And lots of places for people to go camping and picnicking. And that's the sad part.
Now, nobody started a forest fire on purpose, and these campers were trying to be extra careful. As the boys were getting ready to leave, their father reminded them how important it was to leave the campsite as clean as they had found it. He told them to pack the sleeping bags and the ice chest while he made sure their campfire was out. All weekend long, Tony and his little brother John had been very careful, clearing the campfire area and smothering the fire with dirt whenever they would leave. But campfires are funny things. Even when you think they're out, there just might be a hidden ember still blazing away. We've already seen how a little glow can grow into an uncontrolled flame, while all that paper bag needs is a little heat to turn it into a ball of fire. If Tony had realized just how deadly that paper bag could be, I'm sure he wouldn't have been quite so careless. But that's how forest fires happen. Those two boys and their dad tried to be careful. They just weren't careful enough. And now nobody will be using that campsite for a long, long time.
A forest fire is fire at its worst. What can a little flame do when it's people that don't care? Ah, well, maybe if more people come to visit my Fire Safety Hall of Flame, they'll begin to get an idea of what fire safety is really all about. It's people, careless people, that cause fires, plain and simple. What's this? It's addressed to me. The postman must have left it here while we were on our tour. It's probably a new exhibit for the museum. This is interesting. It's from a boy named Bobby. If you have an extra minute or two, I'll read it to you. It says, "Dear Ashley, I'm sending this charred doorknob for your collection. I hope it makes
people more aware of the danger of fire. I never used to worry too much about fire safety, but last semester my teacher showed me how to draw a fire plan. It was kind of fun. I brought it home and showed it to my mom and dad. A fire plan is like a map of your house. It shows all the ways to get out in case of a fire. The teacher said there should always be 2 ways to get out of every room, because smoke and fire can block the doors and trap you. My folks thought it was a good idea and said we could have a family fire drill, just like the ones we have at school. I showed them how I made a ladder out of rope. I tied big knots in it to make it easier for my hands and feet to hold on in case I had to climb down from my bedroom upstairs. I showed them my fire alarm, too. It's just a police whistle, but it's loud enough to wake everybody up in case there's a fire in the middle of the night. We decided that if there was a fire, Mom would call the fire department and Dad would get the ladder to help me out of the window. I sure am glad we made a plan, because last Thursday night, our house caught on fire while I was sleeping. The smoke woke me up. I was really scared, but I remembered our fire plan. First, I felt the door to see if it was hot. Never open a door if it's hot. The door was just warm, so like my teacher told me, I leaned against the door hard. You have to be careful because a fire can blow the door open and rush into the room if you don't press against it hard. I opened it just a tiny bit to peek out. Boy, there were flames all over the place. I had to get out of there fast. I blew my fire alarm and pounded on the walls to wake up Mom and Dad. Mom ran to the telephone just like we planned. She dialed the emergency fire number we keep there all the time. She carefully told the firemen our address so that they could find our house fast. I crawled across the floor to the window. My teacher said that there's more fresh air down low next to the floor. That's really important because smoke can be more dangerous than flames. Boy, am I glad I had that ladder. I tossed it out the window real fast and started to climb down. Dad came running with the big ladder to help. It only took a minute or two for all of us to get out of the house. We were safe. The firemen saved our house, and we saved ourselves. It's an awful thing to have your house catch on fire, but we were all glad nobody was hurt. So I just thought I'd send you this to let others know how important it
really is to plan ahead in case of a fire. Signed, your friend Bobby. Well, this certainly deserves a place in my Fire Safety Hall of Fame. It warms my heart to know that at least somebody is thinking about fire safety. If you see a fire, find a phone right away. Dial the fire department, and you'll save the day. I'm so glad you came by and stopped for a chat to talk about safety and fire and all that. Because fire is a friend if it's where it should be. But in the wrong place, it's a sad sight to see. So won't you be careful? It would be a shame if I had to place you in the Great Hall of Flame. Oh, my goodness, it sounds like a 5-alarm blaze. I guess I better get things warmed up for another exhibit. I'm so overworked, it just burns me up. Well, I'd better pop off. Goodbye. Be careful.